Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the English Hour. In today's episode, we'll be talking about information diet. When people talk about diet, they generally talk about their consumption of food and how that consumption impacts their body, their thinking, their health, and their lifestyle. Information diet is not related to food consumption, but it is really about what we consume through the media, through the news, through TV channels. It's really about what we consume through our brain and how all that information impacts our brain, our perception, and our perspective on life. Here I've got some keywords to guide me in this discussion. For example, when we talk about a regular diet, we talk about basically what we consume, what we drink. Like, is the food organic? Is the food healthy? For example, if your diet consists of unhealthy food, that means your body will not really flourish. You might develop cardiac diseases over time. You might develop health problems, vitamin deficiencies, or you might lose your stamina because of lack of proper nutrition. So a healthy diet is essential for a fully functioning human being. It's essential for equilibrium in your body, in your mind, and in your health. And in a similar sense, an information diet shapes your brain. What do I mean by an information diet? The information diet people consume is basically the materials they consume through watching, listening, or reading. For example, watching something, listening to a podcast, reading the news, reading something on social media, watching television, or watching programs on social media. These are all part of our information diet. In this modern age, a lot of people consume information through their smart devices or through the internet, not necessarily through the traditional means. And we don't seem to be very aware that what we consume, the types of information we consume, or the types of sources we consume this information from, they really impact our understanding of the world. For example, if you are constantly exposed to negative news or news stories, it can create a sense of anxiety and stress. For example, if you always read the news about someone getting killed, accidents, terrorist acts, and stuff like that, that might create anxiety and stress. Or if you're exposed to news about economic troubles, turmoil, interest rate hikes, and so on, again, that can create a sense of insecurity, and that can also lead to anxiety and stress. This is looking at the problem from the perspective of stress. But additionally, your information diet really shapes how you understand and perceive the world. For example, social media algorithms basically try to get users to spend as much time on their apps as possible. And for that, they simply keep users engaged with sometimes silly videos, silly content, or polarizing content. Polarizing content means either it's extreme right, extreme left, fascist, racist, or, different kinds of polarizing content that tend to really keep people engaged. And this increases the divide in society. And additionally, social media and a lot of news sources simply create echo chambers. An echo chamber is basically an environment in which people basically share the same ideas or the same views. You don't really get to know the other side's perspective. For example, right-wing people always listening to right-wing media, or left-wing people always listening to left-wing media. That creates echo chambers, and as a result, the social divide, the ideological divide, it expands over time, and it does not really lead to a coherent society. Echo chambers cause lack of variance in thinking and consuming information through social media can cause dopamine addiction. As I said, the social media apps really thrive, or they aim to keep users hooked to the platform, and for that they push content that leads to dopamine addiction. So small bursts of dopamine here and there, easy wins. And these are not really helpful for human health and psychology over the long term. So I think it's very helpful to pay attention to one's diet, meaning what one eats or drinks. And in a similar vein, it's very important to pay attention to your information diet. For example, think about how you get your news. Think about what you consume, what you watch, what you listen to, and think about the impact those sources have on you, on your mind, on your body, on your well-being. Think about all those. For example, if you're always listening to doomy and gloomy news, maybe it's a good idea to stay away from that for a while and see how it helps you. Or if you're always maybe feeling hooked on a certain social media platform or an app and feel like wasting hours there, maybe try to turn off the notifications and maybe delete that app for a while and see how it impacts your life, how it impacts your daily routines and so on. So try to be aware of your information diet and try to shape your information diet in a way that will contribute to your life, that will contribute to your well-being. So this is basically it. These are the things I wanted to talk about with regards to the information diet, and I'm sure there is so much more we can talk about. These were basically the keywords and ideas I had in mind, but feel free to share your comments and your suggestions in the comments section under the YouTube video, or if you're listening to this through a podcast app, you can share your comments on the podcast app. Well, that's it for now, and see you in another episode.